Welcome everybody to another High Gluttony Walkthru. It's Manti time!
It's Manti time! We are making Manti. I'm Becca.
And I'm Gretchen. We're starting out by showing you how to mix up the filling. And it's basically just salt, pepper, lamb, and onion.
So Gretchen was using lamb. What you're not seeing is that I am making a vegetarian version with mushrooms, cashews, and onions. Fairly similar in the base, but this turned out really well. So it's a very exciting option for those vegetarians out there who want some kind of dumpling like this.
And now on to the fastest dough we've ever made. And actually, in reality, this took at least 15 minutes to knead. So you're seeing a real shortened version here.
But it's a pretty simple dough. Just flour, egg, salt, milk, water.
We share a few tips in the episode about adding moisture, and both of us ended up having to add a little bit to our dough.
We did.
I recommend kneading this directly on your counter because I kept trying to knead it on some other surface and it really wasn't working. As you get towards the end of the kneading process, you're going to add some olive oil to the outside.
That's kind of an interesting, that was new to me.
That's not uncommon.
Okay.
Because when you add the oil, it shortens the gluten strands. So adding it towards the end means you've already done some stretching.
So we haven't done it just because we haven't been making those types of doughs lately.
Right.
Cool.
See, I put my olive oil on it and now I'm just kneading it some more. We're just going to try and get it pretty smooth. And after you knead it, you let it rest for a half an hour and before you roll it out.
The recipe also says you can use a food processor for this part, but Gretchen had encouraged us to do it by hand because I think in the past you've done it and felt like you didn't have as much control over the texture as you wanted.
I had made it had gotten too tough when I did it in the food processor.
So that is an option for this too.
This is not the traditional way to roll out Manti dough, but since I have bad hands and rolling dough with a rolling pin hurts sometimes, we opted for the pasta machine because it does work very well and get your dough nice and consistent.
It's important to get your dough pretty thin. So that was helpful for me too, in just knowing that each layer was consistent.
Also to save me a little bit of energy for doing the forming of the Manti. Highly recommend cutting your squares using a pizza cutter.
Pizza cutter. Bunny optional.
Bunny optional. That's just mine. And then we come to the filling and the packets of deliciousy goodness.
I think we call them everything from purses to pouches to pockets. They are dumplings. That's basically what Manti means, is a dumpling. Yes, we should have said that right up there.
So this is just a real quick show of just probably about 10 minutes worth of work that ended up into 18 seconds in a hyperlapse. And that's Manti!
Ta-da!
Ta-da!